Hello. Today I will be discussing about the significance of the stochastic disturbance term. Okay, what is the importance of disturbance term in a regression equation? This is the matter of concerns of today's lecture. Look, this is the this is the simple regression equation, and this simple regression equation represents keeping in view the conjunction function. Look, this is the dependent variable and this is the independent variable. So, and this is the disturbance term, and this is the constant term, and this is the coefficient of the xi. Okay, this is the intercept term. In one sense, you can say this is the slope term. Now, this is on the basis of the conjunction function. You can say this is the conjunction and this is the income. So conjunction depends upon the income, and this beta 1 is the autonomous conjunction. If there is no income, there is also conjunction. So this conjunction is represented by the beta 1. So the importance, look at this, the vagueness, the vagueness theory. That is, when you will measure the consumption and which depends on income, there is other factors, other independent variables on which the consumption depends upon, and that are such wealth and wealth, you can say, and you can say number of children, and there is many other tests, you can say there are many other variables, and these variables are considered in this term, this disturbance term. So the omitted variable, the excluded variables are considered in ui, are considered in ui. So uh, so uh, so so this is the factors. This is the importance of the disturbance term in a regression equation. Now, there is another theory, there is another thing, that is the unavailability of data. And in some time, you do not be able to find out the data for measuring the consumption. There are some factors on which the consumption depends upon, but that data is not be that data cannot be found. So so in that case, that unavailability of data, effect of that unavailability data is considered in this disturbance term. So this is the importance of the disturbance term. Now, there is another factor, that is the core variables versus the peripheral variables. So in the consumption functions, there are some other variables such as the such as you can say the sex, you can say the sex, and you can say the number of children in a family, and the geographical location, education, and other so many factors factors can affect the consumption of a family. But considering all these factors together, that have a small effect on the consumption. So these factors can be considered in the UI in the disturbance term. Okay, and here the core variables are yi and xi. There is the consumption and income, core variables, and the peripheral variables are considered in this disturbance term. Okay, now there is another factor on which the which is the important factor, the intrinsic randomness in human behavior. Intrinsic randomness in human behavior is another factor. It may be considered the quantitative factor, and it is not very easy to calculate, and on that basis the consumption very much on which depends, on very much depends. It can affect the consumption of a family. So this intrinsic randomness can be considered in this, and in this term, in this disturbance term. Okay, this is the importance of UI. Now there is another factor, that is a poor proxy variable. Poor proxy variables. Okay, look, if you consider the Friedman consumption function, then you can find the consumption depends on the permanent income, and not on the transitory income. So consumption depends on permanent income, and it is very difficult to find out the permanent income, and so and this variable is but when we measure the total income and total income and total consumption. So this income of the income and the consumption is, are the proxy variables. Okay. The effect also considered in this disturbance term. Now, there is another important point, that the principle of parsimony. Principle of parsimony. Look, actually, Occam razors, as far as the Occam razors thinking is considered, you can consider, we would like to simplify our regression model. So, so too much introducing too much variable regression model, it is not good, and it may not have effect on the dependent variable. So, a disturbance term is there, and is excluded, omitted variables are considered in disturbance term. So model should be simple. And this is one of the reasons, one of the important point for using the stochastic disturbance term. Now, wrong functional form. Wrong functional form. Look, the conjunction function. Actually, you have all the variables and you have collected the data. You assume that, and but the functional relationship may be linear. The two functions may be and may not be linear. It may be non-linear. So in that case, the disturbance terms is very important. Disturbance term is very important. So to have a proper control over the wrong functional form, we have to use the disturbance term. So significance of the stochastic disturbance terms is this. You can say these seven factors on which the we have used the disturbance term in a in a regression equation. So I hope you have enjoyed it, and you have a proper understanding why we actually use the disturbance term in a regression equation. Okay, thank you very much for enjoying this lecture.